Welcome to episode number 22 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube. As always, with my host, Stefan Loeffler at Junk Wax Twins, and Wilson at our Trading Cards, and I'm back. Missed you last week. Sorry, I was a little under the weather. I'm Tim Shepler at Big Shep 79. We are a podcast by collectors for collectors, and we're hoping to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting tonight. We're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube. You can always follow us on YouTube so you get a little alert. Just search About the Cards. You can also follow us on Twitter at About the Cards, and also make sure you subscribe and review us on iTunes and Stitcher at About the Cards. Fellas, I missed you last week. I wish I would have been here. I was just not feeling great, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and filling my enormous seat. And I'm glad to be back. So how have you guys been?
That seat was cozy. I mean, there was room enough for two. I'll say
Nice.
that. It sure was quiet last week.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you didn't have anyone to complain with.
Oh.
I miss the old days when Tim would say he wants to argue.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson and just said, you know what, I'm just going to let Ben think he's right all the time when he's almost always wrong, and just go from there. So did anybody, Ben, you had something you wanted to bring up early on in the cast tonight. What's up?
Yeah, our good friend Jenny Miller at Jenny Miller 521 has a request if anybody is feeling the need to donate or charitable here in the holiday season. If you want to go to her Twitter account, which was at Jenny Miller 521, there's a cause that's near and dear to her heart. I think it's a homeless shelter, and they're accepting donations right at the time, so you can catch the link. I've personally tweeted it out on my personal account. We should probably do that as well at About the Cards. And so if you want to scoot over there, or if you find the link now on our pages, definitely, check it out and get a couple extra dollars to spare. Hey, 'tis the season, and let's help some people out. Apparently, for every dollar that is donated, the donation will actually be doubled. So let's get her some money for this charity, and hopefully all that money goes to where it needs to go and finds a good home here as we approach Christmas.
No, definitely. That is good. And also, too, Ben and I live in Northern California. And as you know, there's been a massive wildfire just 2 hours north here in Paradise, California, which is a little south of Chico. And I went to Chico State. I'm very familiar with the area. And the town's been leveled and devastated by wildfire. I mean, they said the town will never be the same, will never be rebuilt. They'll have to choose what school to rebuild, what hospital to rebuild. I mean, everything's gone. The Safeway's gone. Like 7,500 homes are gone. And, it's a very small and rural community. Lives have been lost, quite a few actually. And so too, there's, so those guys are on our thoughts tonight as well, and always just be thankful for what you have and who you're around. This time of year, and all times of year, go give reach out to a buddy or a friend that you haven't talked to in a while and say hello. That's very important, trust me. So not to get that somber start tonight as I'm coming back, but just one of those things that's on top of mind here for us locally. So,
and I just had a main account.
Nice. So last week, the week that was the week without Big Shep, we had Tops Living come out, and that was the 34th week, right? And we had Javi Baez of the Cubs. We had Alex Verdugo, the rookie from the Dodgers, and Keltel Marte of the Diamondbacks, and no numbers. So I can't update you on where they were. I did pick up a Verdugo. I have a feeling, though, this week is going to be in the bottom 30. I don't think it's going to be like the week that had the week before where it had Babe, which I think he was a top 5 card. We also had go ahead, guys.
Just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
We kind of covered that we felt we're definitely in the bottom 20%, if not bottom 10%. If they ended up in the bottom 3 weeks. Overall, it's just, Baez is a star in the making, and he's a Cub, but nationally, I don't know if he's going to have that same pull as some of the other up and coming stars, and then Verdugo, probably
Didn't
going
have
to
the year. Yeah, didn't play time.
Yeah, I mean, he's most likely going to find a new home, and Marte is just it's a organization that's not very collectible, and a name that's not very popular. So it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't end up on the bottom 2-3 when everything is said and done.
Yeah, and also last week we had Topps Triple Threads come out, as well as
you're muted.
Sorry about that. Am I back there? There we go. So we had
Yep.
2018 Topps Triple Threads come out, and also 2018-19 Panini Donruss Basketball. Man, I missed Donruss Basketball.
You did.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to see somebody about that. I'm devastated there. So not a lot came out, and then so let's move into hot off the presses. This week's new releases. Topps Living got released today for the week of the 14th through the 20th here of November. Card 106, Hall of Fame shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. of the Baltimore Orioles. He's the third Oriole. Card number 107, congratulations, 2018 AL Cy Young winner Blake Snell, pitcher, Tampa Bay Rays, is the third Ray. And card number 108, J.P. Crawford, shortstop rookie of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's the sixth Philly. So, guys, we have a Hall of Famer, a Cy Young winner, and a rookie. How do we feel about this week?
The Hall of Famer is going to sell. The Cy Young, nope. And who? No offense to the Phillies, but just not feeling this week.
Yeah, the
Ripken will definitely have its draw of collectors. Hall of Fame, the Orioles, 3,000 hit club collectors, 2,000 collectors.
Our good friend Rob Bertrand, who you can find on Twitter at Voice of the Collector, VOTC, he said that's the first one he purchased in Ripken, and he's been waiting for Ripken. I think you're going to see a few people kind of come out of the woodworks for this one because Ripken is such a darling as far as legends go. It'll be interesting to see if he eclipses Mattingly, who I believe is currently the lowest selling legend, which to me is surprising. But overall, I mean, Blake Snell, Tampa Bay, it's going to be a tough draw, even though he did win the Cy Young. So it's definitely the right week to drop him. And then Crawford, somebody brought up today that they're not a big fan of the hatless pictures. And I've got to agree. It didn't really come to my attention until they had said something, and they're just not the greatest, but what are you going to do?
No, that's true. So I'll pick up Crawford with my rookie collection, and I'm hoping he's gonna be short printed like Jenny said in the chat there. She thinks he'll be the lowest of the week, and so that's one of the things I'd like to see come through. Maybe he becomes a little bit more collectible in the set. Snell, I think he'll get a little love with the Cy Young thing, but Ripken's gonna dominate. I think Ripken ends up as a top 10 card.
Potentially, for sure. It's just Tampa Bay. No offense to the team, it just doesn't have the fan draw. It doesn't have the fan base, and there's hardly any collectors outside of that one collector that nobody will admit to who it is.
Oh, I'll tell you.
It's funny.
It is a fun story, though.
Yeah, it's funny. I after I got rid of all of my 100,000 cards in the garage that I didn't need or want, I had set aside team lots. For each team, I obviously gave you guys the Royals, Giants, and Twins, respectively. Held on to the A's. And then I traded the 1 Million Cubs Project, our buddy. It's like 370 cards or 390 cards for one Ricky Henderson. Want these cards to go to the right homes. And I've sold a few. I still have about 20 of them listed on eBay, including the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. I believe the Phillies are still there. Some big market teams. And they all fell off eBay. I relisted them all. Immediately, the Cleveland Indians sold, which, hey, I was just happy to get rid of a team. And then the Tampa Bay Rays sold. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I've got and it's not like they're not priced to sell. Most of them are anywhere from 15 to 20, maybe $25 on the Yankees and Red Sox. But come on, the Rays.
Hey, there you go.
And so, hey, there's somebody out there that likes them. So
the collectability is coming back for the Rays. Watch that value rise.
Blake Snell is guaranteed to sell at least one card this week.
That's true. That's true. So we also have 2018-19 Panini Certified Basketball released today. $95 a box. 10 packs per box, 5 cards per pack. 2 autograph cards, a mem, 10 inserts, and 7 parallels is what you should find in a box break. You're going to have 200 card base set with 8 parallel variations of those cards. You're also going to have 6 autograph sets, 4 mem.
That goes.
You're going to have 4 mem sets and 8 insert sets. So just as Steph pulls this up, I mean, it's just really, the certified look kind of has a nice, clean, classic look to it. It's all the rookie class and autographs and stars you're looking for. It does have some pretty sharp looking inserts. But again, it's another $100 basketball product that's out there. It's gonna be one of a bunch. Not a fan of the one showing their rookie roll call. It's a headshot it's a lot of gray and black and white, and a big white spot for the autograph and the name. I mean, it looks like a very basic and simple card. They do also offer freshman fabric, so you get an autographed jersey there. So I think there's a 10-year anniversary set of autographs in there with some vets. I'm not sure, guys. What do you think?
I've liked some of the certified sets in the past. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it started with Leaf in like 96, 95, somewhere in there. Some of them look great over the years. And maybe this is just a washed out photo, but that seems like a lot of black background. I'd have to see more than just one mock-up card. Some of them look nice, like a few of those inserts that I pulled up, but
yeah. But they have a real basic feel, right? Like that's how I feel about the set, and something that I think would have a cleaner look. But
so you guys, Triple Threads baseball just came out last week, and it's a higher end product. The base cards have looked really sharp over the last few years. Are you familiar with what the 2011, 2010 Triple Threads cards look like? Just the base. If anybody out there is listening is familiar, that's what certified basketball kind of looks like. Without having one in hand, it looks like it's a similar stock, which is going to be a little thicker than just a regular base card. It just looks kind of almost generic. Like it's not bad, but it's not necessarily good either.
Yeah, sorry I faded out there, guys. Yeah, to me, I don't know. It could be a better product. So, I mean, the design you have to make, like I was saying, 36 products a year. You have to, it's going to kind of get limited. So
you're going to see that. Yeah, you're going to see that across the board. Some are going to hit, some aren't. If we went to baseball, I'm sure we could, come with a laundry list of ones we're not a fan of.
Yeah, I also know that they're limiting. They're coming down on how many sets from last year that they made this year. I think they cut like 6 or 7 sets. So we'll see. 2018 Topps Gallery Baseball comes out sometime this month. It's at Walmart's only.
Comes out Friday, allegedly.
So yeah, and it could be out today. You never know. So there's 3 versions. So there's a collector's box, a value box, or a blaster, and a fat pack. So the collector's box is $69.99. You're going to get 20 packs. I believe with 5 cards per pack, because it said that there's 100 cards in there, so that's my assumption. There's 2 autograph cards in that box. Then you're gonna have the blaster box, which is it's $20, 7 packs, 5 cards per pack. With that 7 packs includes an exclusive 4-card artist proof pack that are only available in that blaster boxes. And then the fat pack's going to be $5.99. You're going to get 12 cards that are going to include 2 exclusive canvas parallel cards. Now, there's a 200 card base set. There's short prints in that from 151 to 200. There's 117 autograph subjects and 5 insert sets. Now, someone on the show said that Gallery is greater than Topps Living.
Don't at me.
Did you both say that? I've been a little muted on Twitter lately. And I just want to know, Gallery's neat.
Have you guys seen Adventures Babysitting?
Yes.
one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yes.
When they confront Bradley Whitford's character, Mike, at the restaurant towards the end of the movie, and Brad steps up and defends, you know, Elizabeth Shue's character, Chris's, honor, and says he won't stoop down to his level. And then Daryl steps in and kicks him in the rear end and says, "I will." Steph said in a private message to us that he thought Gallery, looks better than Living, the artwork, that is. And it was the same kind of a thing. He may not have said it publicly, but I did. I honestly think Steph's right. I agreed with him wholeheartedly on this one. I think the artwork, that Jackie Robinson from Gallery compared to the Jackie in Living, it's night and day. I mean, it's no comparison, and that doesn't take anything away from the artwork of Topps Living, which is very limited to. All these types of products are limited to the photo that they're given. But if you look at the Gallery cards that have been shown so far, that Steph is showing, versus what we've seen from Living, sorry. And if you're familiar with Gallery from last year, the card stock, I bet, is going to be tremendously better as well.
Right, and that's one of the things that I really liked about their the issue itself. Now, some of these, it looks like there's a whole ton of extra white space, and unfortunately, if you're listening not on YouTube, you won't be able to see what we're talking about. But if you look up the Topps Gallery where the name is, it's kind of a huge white spot on the front of the cards. But in hand, I'm sure they'll look gorgeous, just like they did last year, just like they did in the previous renditions of the set.
And if you don't like the overall whiteness, because they are very bright, very white cards, if we're just focusing on the artwork, just the picture of the player, comparing, the overall look at Topps Living, of course, is classic because of the 1953 style. So there's nothing that Topps is going to be able to come out with today that I believe will eclipse, the 53. But just the artwork alone, and not every guy. I mean, the Ichiro looks great in Gallery, but Living was, an iconic picture as far as I'm concerned.
It's a good looking product. I find it interesting that it's released at Walmart's. I know it's maybe not one of the most popular sets, but it's going to be interesting to see what it does if people swoop up and then try to put these boxes and sell them for $80, $90, $100 on the secondary market. So
it's worth noting that the link that you put in the show notes is the 2017 team set, the set.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
I'll try to pull up the 2018 image here.
Real quick, we were talking, weeks ago about Topps Fire being a retail only, and then we're all familiar with what happened with Archives being a retail and hobby split, and ultimately I think we all kind of agree that Archives might go the way of retail. I think that's what they were trying to do. I would think Gallery would work perfectly in a hobby environment, especially if it was a slightly higher end, not necessarily more in line with maybe like high tech, where it's not on par with like 5-star and even triple threads in museum, but just a notch right below. I think Gallery would be great as a hobby.
I think Gallery would be good as like how they have the mini boxes and triple threads. Sell them as basically as a mini box on their own. Like that would be it'd be like a basically if you took the fat pack and it was a 12 card pack and you put a guaranteed autograph in there, and then you have a couple of inserts and then your base cards. I think that would be a great way to package this product. And then sell it for 40, 50, it'd retail for what, $35. If you're selling 100 cards for $70 with 2 autographs, cut that in half. Sells a fat pack. Fair. That'd be an amazing deal, and people would swoop up on that. Hey, I can get an autograph for $35.
Well, triple threads is what, $200 a box with 4 inners.
Yeah, it's like $25 a pack.
Yes, if you're a hobby store, you could either sell a box for $200, or you can just sell the inners at $50 a piece. Yeah, you definitely could do something like this where it's $140, $150 with a retail price of $35 a pack. If you want to open it up and sell them. And if you're guaranteeing a hit per inner pack, then, Tim and I were at a LCS a while back, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. And we're like looking at the wall, like we should buy something, let's just go halves on something. And we couldn't agree on anything because neither one of us really needed to spend the money or wanted to spend the money. But, Why wouldn't we both just said, you know what, screw it, $35 a pack. Let's both buy a pack and see who does better.
Yeah, no, that would have been fun.
It even could have been something that if it wasn't a PC item, we both could have thrown up on eBay and try to recoup our money and
There we go. Steph found the right one. Sorry about that, guys.
Jones Auto.
But see, my problem with that is it's such a gorgeous card, and then it has this big dumb sticker right across it.
Yeah.
Otani has his scribbles on it. And then, so case in point.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic photo of Jackie Robinson, by the way.
The Masters, I think it's one of the insert sets.
Yeah.
But compare that to this.
Yeah. That is ridiculous. Yeah, that's a gorgeous card, the Jackie.
But also this week, I think it's great. I think it's gonna be interesting to see. I just think that a lot of people are gonna lose their minds on Twitter about this, and it's a I can't get it, and yada yada yada. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Also this week, 2018-19 Panini Flawless Collegiate Basketball comes out Friday. We all know about Flawless. It's going to run you about $1,250 a box. 1 pack per box, 10 cards per pack. You're going to get 6 autographs, 2 memorabilia cards, and 2 gem cards. There's, I don't know, dozens of autograph sets, a couple memorabilia sets in here. We all know what Flawless is. It's all about the hits. It's all about your on-card. These are going to be your rookies and the college uniforms, and you're going to have some vets in their college uniforms and autographs and gem cards. And I'm not a big fan of again, we've talked about this before with the football and the baseball. I'm not a big fan of the collegiate products, but even as a KU guy, and KU basketball is huge, just doesn't get my goat.
I think if we're comparing this to college, college football, I think works because I think when you watch an NFL game, a lot of times you'll hear them say, so-and-so player from so-and-so college. You don't hear that nearly as much in basketball because a lot of these guys are one and dones. So that loyalty isn't there.
Yep.
Nobody cares where so-and-so basketball player went to college. Why? Because he was there for 31 games and maybe 2 or 3 games in the tournament. But football, these guys are there for 3 to 4 years. And so there is that overall loyalty. And it just seems like you're a Kansas guy. Okay. Well, a Nebraska Cornhusker fan, for football is going to be much more diehard than a Syracuse basketball fan, and that's just my opinion. I think it just comes down to the fact that there's no basketball loyalty, and I really wouldn't collect that. If it were me, I'd want them in the NBA team.
Yeah, and Steph has it pulled up here. I mean, they're neat. They're great. I mean, Flawless, don't get me wrong, is a great product. I mean, if you can have some Flawless cards, they're awesome. But again, I mean, I can see Kentucky fans, KU fans being excited about Duke fans being excited about this because they have some young players in here. KU not as the stars the other teams have this year. But I mean, there's Durant in his Texas uniform. But I mean, the guy played 1 year, and like Ben said, they're playing 30 some odd games, and that's about it. So, hey, if you get in a break, awesome. Share your hits and you tweet them at us. I'd love to see what's out there.
That's just a heavy price point for
collegiate cards. Yep.
Collegiate football, I get. Again, 3 to 4 years. It's a different story, but college basketball for $1,200. Do you really need a Mo Bamba in Kentucky or wherever he went? I don't follow college basketball.
Mo Bamba went to Texas.
Texas, all the same. It's all the same.
Pretty easy saying someone went to Kentucky because damn near everybody went to Kentucky.
See, but that's the thing is I don't know and I don't care because it doesn't really matter. You were a high school kid, and then 2 years from now you'll be in the NBA. Where you made a pit stop last year, completely irrelevant to me. I'm a Spurs fan. Be on my Spurs, do a good job for my Spurs, and I'm happy.
What happened to them Monday night, bro?
They lost to the Kings.
That's right.
They did.
I think that was their Sacramento Kings.
They're like what
8th
6th win out of the last 49 games that they've played against the.
Doesn't matter. It's all about today. It's all about what you did for me lately, Pop. Right. Even Pop gave the Kings some love. Thanks, Pop.
They've been exciting this year, and I'm glad because I've always been a closet Kings fan because it's good for our community. It's good for the city. The better that they do, I was a big fan of us trying to get that stadium here and the new arena. I've never seen a basketball game there, but I've been to a few concerts. That arena is immaculate compared to the dump of Arco that Kings fans are subjected to. But their success, and I wish them the best. I mean, the only time I root against the Kings when they play San Antonio.
Well,
I want them to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I was at the Kings game Friday night. I saw Jimmy Butler's last game with the Wolves as they beat Steph's Wolves. They were down early in the first, came back and did it and crushed them, man. Karl-Anthony Towns, that guy is a beast. If you were going to collect some cards, that guy is legit. He had 15. He's a monster. Anyway, so what's brewing next week? What's brewing next week's releases? So we have, speaking of which, 2018-19 Panini Prism Basketball gets launched. I know the first off the line was available, I think today or yesterday. Some dicey situations. If you read any of Panini's Instagram, I think they had to take their Instagram post down about it because the backlash. 2018 Panini Playoff Football. Playoffs is coming back. We also have 2018 Panini Immaculate Football, and then 2018 Top Stranger Things Hobby will come out. The retail's already out there, but the hobby is going to be coming soon, and I'm very excited about that as they just wrapped, I think, season 3, and I can't wait to check that out. So we're going to move on
to coming releases.
Infield Chatta.
Topps Twitter just teased an image for 2019 Bowman.
Ooh, let's pull that up. Live breaking news on About the Cards Pod. We have breaking news. We have the 2019 Bowman first look. So this is a Bowman Chrome autograph of Wander Franco, a shortstop for the Rays.
Gosh, Bowman cards just look like they're so blah to me.
Yeah, I like it looks like a very silver card, and it's got like a what would you call that? There's like a 3/4 board, like chrome border inside, a little bit ways in, and then I don't know. It's you gotta check it out. It's interesting. I mean, it looks like a Bowman card.
Yeah, Chris Torres in the chat room brought up an interesting point about it being a centering nightmare, considering there's only a border on half the card. It almost looks like a little bit of it was chopped off on the right.
It does.
If you're looking at it dead on.
It does look a tad miscut if you kind of look at it, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see for folks that grade cards. That's going to be an interesting one. But to me, it's just I haven't got a Bowman card anytime in recent memory. Honestly, since original Bowman came out, the rebranding of it in the late 80s, all this new Bowman stuff that I've seen over the last decade and a half is just kind of like, all right, I'll collect it because I need to. But I'm not collecting it because I want to.
Does look sharp. I like the chrome cards. I'm a chromie. I don't know.
You're such a millennial.
Oh, I love chromies.
As long as they're not from 2010.
So Infield Chatter, the Hobby Talk section. So hey, we want to give a shout out to @Krakenwax. There was a huge pull this week. I'm gonna let Steph run with this one. Steph.
Sure. Screen share. Boop 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 boop. There we go.
This one's a monster he pulled.
He had a high-end break night where he broke several higher-end products. And for our buddy who recently followed him, you're welcome. Waxtopia, John, got this really, really sweet Theodore Williams, otherwise known as Teddy, numbered 1 of 5. Looks like it's check cut. So it'd be kind of cool to see where it actually came from, as far as whether it was groceries or whether it was an apartment bill or housing payment or what year even. But unfortunately, it's chopped off on that part. And it's got a little piece of jersey there. So it's a really sweet looking card that he pulled. And I know both are ecstatic. Now I think even Krakenwax on his next break has Waxtopia as a discount code. It's just a gorgeous looking card.
Yeah,
I know it gets taken away because it's a Panini product, so they don't have the team logos. But still,
no, I mean the Theodore Williams autograph is the best part about that thing.
Yes, it is.
Because
apparently
how
he
often
doesn't.
do you see Theodore?
Right.
That's my son Jonathan's middle name is Theodore. He's his mama's teddy bear, and so I love the name Theodore. So I'm very partial. When I saw that card, I was like, "That's sweet."
Yes. So that was neat. We just had to give that a shout out tonight. So I don't know if you guys talked about this last week. The 2018 Topps Holiday Bowman baseball release
If
packs.
you would have listened to the show, you would have known.
Yeah, like I said, I've had a busy week. I'm trying to play catch up in my life. So just a real quick rundown. So if you visit your local card shops starting Friday, and you make a Topps purchase of $10 or more, you can earn a free pack of exclusive cards courtesy of Topps 2018 holiday packs. The release uses the main theme of the 18 Bowman design, but will add the Topps holiday 2018 logo and a few festive elements. It's a good mix of veterans, rookies, and some prospects. There's 43 autograph subjects. There's 3 cards per pack, and they have like some parallels. So I love the names: Green Festive, which is out of 99. White Snow out of 50, Turkey out of 35, Festive Red out of 10, and Gold Festive, 1 of 1s. I think Gold Festive just sounds like a good time.
I love those looking parallels that I have shared here.
Yeah, I want to know if the turkey one, though, smells of turkey, because I don't think there's anything better than you go over to grandma's house for Thanksgiving and there's a turkey in the oven. And it just brings back all those fun memories. And then your uncle cuts off his thumb using the electric knife. But hey, what do you think, Ben? There's like right there, Matt Chapman, Platinum Glove winner, right? Platinum Glove winner, Matt Chapman.
I like the design better than
Red Sox
last
third
year.
baseman.
That's right. I like the design a lot better than last year's, where it was just kind of like they had like the holiday snowflakes. I mean, those were kind of neat, but the Topps holiday logo. I think the Chapman is sharp, being green, of course, because it's the A's color. What an unnecessary product, though.
Well, no, it's a giveaway. It's not even a product.
But that's the thing is, it is. I mean, it's a giveaway, but it's still something that they've made with a checklist. It's just it's one more thing that collectors have to collect and watch out for. And it's one more thing that they're like, oh, hey, by the way, holiday's coming out next week.
Yeah, well, hey, my thing is, if it drives some folks in early to their local card shops, and also too, we won't forget next week we'll have a show right before Thanksgiving. We'll talk about the Panini Black Friday stuff next week and what that does for LCSs. So go check out your LCS this weekend, the week before everybody starts to lose their mind and go Black Friday shopping. I'm an anti-Black Friday guy myself. I'll shop online because I can do that from my home. And I don't have to ruin other people's Thanksgivings. So as somebody that worked retail for so many years and spent many Thanksgivings telling people in line to be straight and hand them a piece of paper so they could buy their $12 TV. Hey. Steph, you ran a poll this week, which I thought was interesting.
Good.
It was about what year were those cards? 72? Yeah. And on the back, if you put so many cards together, you could build another card of a player. One was Joe Torre. I think Tony Oliva was one.
Yep.
And I'm missing the other National Leaguer and the other American Leaguer. And
I want to say Tom Seaver and
man. Anyway, it's a sharp card because if you put them together and you're a Joe Torre fan back in this, it's a neat looking thing. But you ask, like, how excessive is your collection? No. Where did my poll go? I want to make sure I had it right.
So I wrote. I got it pulled up here.
All right.
Screen share. There we go. Okay. How excessive is your collection? Would you consider adding similar cards to those attached to the pictures down below if you were a team/player collector first? And what I was getting at was, for example, full color puzzles of Tony Oliva and Tom Seaver, Joe Torre and Carl Yaz. Would you consider adding this card just because it has their name and the mock-up picture on it? Or using it as I did, and this is someone else's image, where the 6 cards build the quote unquote puzzle, but you have 3 extra spaces to fill a spot. Well, okay, so you put a league leader card in the middle and then these 2 ad spacers next to them. And I said, do you add them, and do you ditch them, or pie? And unfortunately, 33% of the vote, 3 people said pie. 42% said, yep, I'd add them. And there's a pretty good discussion down below as far as, well, I would, but only if I needed an extra space, or if there's a picture attached, or here's the pictures of mine. So in this case, I put the league leaders because Tony Lee would lead the league in 64-65. The batting leader card itself there, and one of the ad pieces. Unfortunately, has some scrub San Francisco team written on the top right card, but as well as each of the ones that I could find that had the Tony Lee advertised piece. Now, yes, those are inactions of another player, but on the back, it's not. So I was kind of curious your guys' opinion as far as how excessive are you with your collection?
If it was my guy, if it was Brett and he was on the back, I'd put that together like you did, but I wouldn't get the other cards that had just the small, tiny card of him and the fictionalized little tiny picture in the bottom corners.
Well, so let me ask it that way then. Is it just because you're not going to go search it out, but if you find them for 10 cents?
No, I'm not gonna spend the time.
Yeah, I think I'm the exact opposite. When I actually voted no that I wouldn't before I really thought about it, and I'm like, actually, yeah, of course I would. If it was my guy from, being back then, regardless of which A's guy it was, I would want to put together the puzzle first and foremost. If it was a card that advertised it, I would be, less likely to buy that. But a lot of it comes down to cost. Are we talking about putting that puzzle together for $25 versus $125? Because that's really going to be the deciding point. What's on the other side of those cards? Because if you're going to have to buy big name players in order to get those puzzle pieces, I'm much more unlikely. I mean, if they're all commons, yeah, if I can put it together inexpensively, it definitely would have to be part of the A's PC.
The majority of them are common. However, at least in my case, 2 of them, Bobby Bonds and Jerry Koosman, were high number.
Got it.
It cost me $2 to get the card, but they were the puzzle pieces.
Yeah, but see, even $2 isn't bad. Again, it comes back to if there's 6 pieces, what's worth it to you? For me, I would say anything under $30, $5 a card. If I can piece those 6 together for $30, I mean, $20 of cost of a blaster to have a vintage puzzle.
10 at most for those 9 and these 8. So 17.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So I was just one of those. I know that my collection is a bit excessive at times, but I was looking for your opinion. Hey, screw you too.
I love it though. Steph, I wish there's some things that Steph sends, and I look and I go, I've never seen that. Like, man, woo, boy, that's interesting. Like, it's cool though. Like, I love seeing how other people collect.
Absolutely.
It really, and that's one of the thing I've learned over the last few years is just collect what you like to collect, and you don't have to tell me the rhyme or reason. If you want to, awesome. But if you like to collect left-handed pitchers that are from the state of Georgia, that were born in the month of July,
under a blue moon,
that's yours. Share it, love it. But it's one of those things like. It's so unique to you, and the story is so great, and I love it because he makes me think about collecting versus just trying to amass stuff. He's like, did you see this? Have you seen this? And I have these, and then the misprints, or he showed us this before the show, the difference between the Jell-O and the Kellogg's cards, just the line's a little bit longer and one card's slightly bigger than the other because the size of the Jell-O box from back then. from '63. I mean, it's amazing. I love it.
Yep.
That's what's awesome about when I see certain cards. When I see something like that, the first thing I would have thought was Stefans Collection, if it wasn't he that was sharing it. And that's what's awesome is when we see certain things, we automatically think of certain collectors. That's what I love about this hobby is that, this may not be for you or I, Tim, right? But it's definitely for Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
And if we see something at a card show that's off the beaten path, we know we've got an enormous resource to like that. I bought a Jello Willie Mays, I believe it was, from '63, if I'm not mistaken. Really beat up condition, but I'm like, what the heck's the difference between the Jello and the Hostess? And it never crossed my mind to ask Stefan, but if it ever did, that he would have been the first person I would have asked before hitting Google. Because if he didn't know, we have so many other resources like Rich Klein and Ryan Cracknell and things we can go to, which are better than internet. But that's what's awesome is when I see something stupid off cut, I'm like, man, Stefan would love this card. And that's what I love about the hobby.
Why don't we send them the Gary Gaetti 87 tops with the gum glued to it,
Yeah.
It had a home. We found it.
That's the thing, yeah. It belonged in his collection.
Yeah. And then that's the best thing about collecting. We're going to move to something that's not so great about collecting.
Yep.
So I want to preface this is that
it could be fabricated, and there's always more to the story. But
let's start there. There's always two sides to a story. We're not 100% sure. We're just going off what we've seen, and so we'll just state that. So there was a 5-year customer of Beckett Magazine that posted a thread from Facebook on Twitter this week about their interactions with the customer service team. So in this, they said, I'm just going to go over it really briefly, and we'll get into some discussion, but they've been waiting on the renewal since April to get their first magazine when they got the renewal. They got the renewal notice in the mail, renewed the magazine, but yet then when they renewed the magazine, they never received said magazine. And they've been told a handful of times, 4 to 6 weeks, it'll be out. I've talked, and there was this person had the list of names of who they talked to, dates they talked to, and what they said. And it lists, all those contacts. And then at the very end of this, Beckett Media on Facebook said, clearly, you're not pleased with Beckett's products and services. As such, we are refunding any money due to you and have canceled any active subscriptions and or memberships. Hopefully another company will be able to meet your needs. So
this is a extremely poor choice of words if this was Beckett themselves.
Yes.
However, let me show you guys something. So there's text there, and you can just go through and find the spot.
And Steph, what's up, Steph?
And now it's edited to say whatever I wrote.
Yes.
So if that's Beckett, that's really, really poor choice of words from a customer service standpoint, assuming those images aren't doctored.
Yeah, Steph just on. If you're not with us, Steph went on and just changed what the actual text said. So it's possible that did have what we're saying, but it's just a discussion of the hobby about customer service. And I talked about it earlier with Panini, and they were with their first off the line with Prism Basketball. And I was listening to the guys say a Mojo Break for a short time. They were just sharing some feedback from customers with that process and the website. And very interesting. I think that in this hobby, customer service, the bad stories come out 10 to 30, 50, 100 times more than any of the good ones actually do.
Sure, absolutely.
And, I'd love to hear good ones like that. I want to know that. Like, I want to, but unfortunately, like even in real life, when you have a bad experience at a restaurant or a bad experience at the coffee shop, you're more likely to tell 10 friends about that than the one time you go in and you have a great experience, you're going to tell one friend.
As somebody who used to teach sales classes, one of the first things I would tell people is understand your customer in front of you. You don't want to treat every customer the same. You always have to treat every customer the way that person wants to be treated, and it's your responsibility as a salesman to identify them. And, you know, if you have somebody who's a thinker that's got to really think about this purchase versus somebody who's a director that comes in like, hey, I want to buy that. What's the cost? What's the best you can do? You can't treat them the same. And with that having been said, the other thing is, you know, when it comes to customer service, you've got to be very delicate to those same people. And we, you know, selling, I'm not just selling to you, Tim. I'm selling to everybody you know. You may not be my customer, even though you're the one standing in front of me. But you're going to go tell mom and dad. You're going to go tell your neighbors. Your neighbor's going to be like, hey, let me go buy a car. And be like, well, don't go see Ben because, you know, that guy treated me bad. Or you're going to say, hey, go see Ben. I didn't buy a car from him, but he was a really honest guy. So good or bad, you're going to share it to everybody. And,
sure,
you know, we've all been in customer service to some degree where, you know, I always tell people when you look at Yelp, you know, the two things to do is always go Yelp your favorite restaurant of choice. Guaranteed you're going to see bad reviews about your favorite waitress or waiter or cook. And then take the 5-star reviews and throw those out the window. Take the 1-star reviews and take those out the window. And look at number 3 because those are always going to be the most honest.
right.
And again, we don't know, was this doctored? You know, have you ever read a conversation where somebody's got blocked or deleted stuff and it's hard to decipher, you know, what the conversation was? We don't know. When I first read this, when Freedom Cardboard posted it, my first thought was there seems like there's more to the story. This can't just be, you know, person A is saying, hey, I spent money. Where's my magazine? What incentive does Beckett have to not send them their magazine?
No, yeah, and Chris Torres in the chat said we are only seeing one side of the story, the customers. Who knows what else is out there, and Beckett might have just decided to refund all the money and move on, and that's true. And I've been in that situation where with the business, and it's like, hey, let's just move on. Let's both part ways, and you're not happy with me, I'm not happy with you. Let's just walk away. We don't know the full conversation. And Jenny Miller says, Beckett served me well. I requested a bag or envelope for my catalog monthly, and you betcha the next catalog came in plastic. They went above and beyond to help me. So we're not saying every instance is a bad one, but we're just saying, like, in general, like, we need to start, you know, we need to listen to both sides, or, you know, there's always two sides of the story, so don't only listen to the one. But two, let's start helping share good stories in the customer service in this hobby, because I really think that's being missed. Everybody always talks about poorly Topses and that kind of thing. Well, you know, I know that there's good experiences people have had. I've had a good one with them when I was missing a hit. They were sent me 2. Within a week, I got them. So,
well, and Tops was doing that thing for a while where when they'd send you a redemption, you get like an extra hit in there. And yeah, they're just clearing out a bunch of stuff that they have on shelves. But you know what? How good did it feel if you were waiting 6 months for a card and you got another card, even if it's a $2 auto? You know, it still made you feel like, hey, I don't care if they're clearing out stock or not.
It's not my Trout, Ben. It's
yeah,
not
that's
my
right.
Trout. I want my Trout autos.
The way, just one final thought, the way that Beckett responded with, hey, you know, maybe there's another company that can meet your needs. The way it was worded was very interesting and curious to me. And that's where I almost think, you know, at first I was all with the customer, like, yeah, okay, Beckett screwed up. And then the way they responded, I'm just thinking, got to be more to the story, because you're not going to say that over the fact that I didn't send you something. And you're calling me out on it. And now my response is, you know what? I just can't be of any help to you. It makes it look like that response was the last of many responses that Beckett might have. You know, maybe that's 5 or 6. That makes sense. Now, you know, there's a little bit more credibility to that story. And honestly, here's the thing is, it's November, and they allegedly made this purchase in April. How many of us would have that kind of patience? If I buy something in April and I don't have that stuff by May, I'm calling you. And if by June, after 4 to 6 weeks have passed, it's either give me my stuff within, you know, 3 business days, or give me my money back. None of this 5 months stuff.
Yeah, and so go ahead, or Steph.
I was going to add, and I've shared this story plenty of times before on Twitter, but I had a case of 2011 Allen Ginter that I was owed a relic for Secretariat's writer, Ron Turcotte. Turcotte? How do you pronounce it? He never provided them, or Topps misallotted the relics, or who knows? They never materialized. I've heard several people say that they never got this. I waited 2 years, way long probably than I should have, but it was just a basic relic, and I knew that nobody else was getting it. Figured maybe eventually it comes down the line. Nothing. So I shoot them an email and I say, hey, I've got nothing. You guys don't have it. You have no update for me. If you don't, can I get something that's a twin? Don't care. Don't care what from what set. Just shoot me something. They're like, yeah, sure. You can send me an address. And a couple weeks later, this shows up in my mailbox. 30 of 36, essentially 3-piece relic, but of the recently
Retired borderline Hall of Famer.
Well, recently retired, but I was trying to think of a way to say that they just had a kid today. Adding to the family now that he's recently retired. Batting on base percentage and slugging leader for, I want to say, 2012 Topps Triple Thread,
which is a much, much, much better card, regardless of whether or not that's your PC guy and a PC team.
Yeah,
just on the surface, that's an improvement. Yeah, and yeah, they definitely took care of you on that.
Yeah, and I'm sure this happens plenty of times. We never hear about it, or it goes on through backroom DMs that, hey, this is how I got it, and then post it publicly. Hey, look what I got. But we'd like to hear those stories to showcase the good and the bad. It's a whole lot easier to go on Twitter and rant and bitch and complain to someone, Ben, than to share a good public story that you have with a trader or somebody like Jenny, where, hey, I have these, you can have them, they're extra.
No, definitely. No, I want to. So this is a little off topic, but I want to talk about little pet peeves in the hobby that we have.
Sure.
Little things that might drive you a tad crazy. My biggest one is the eBay 1 of 1. It's card 77 of 77, eBay 1 of 1.
I saw one today or yesterday, a Mark McGwire numbered out of 99. And it's 1 of 99, and then it said first one made. And I'm like, no way. You mean number 1? And how do you know number 1 was the first one made? That's just the one that got stamped first.
Yeah.
As 1. It might have been number 58 for all we know. Liar.
The first stamped.
Yeah. It's like
the first one that was numbered stamped.
It's numbered 1. I mean, I was like blown away. I almost had to go back to kindergarten math and decide whether or not that guy was telling me the truth.
I can see a slight premium for cards that are numbered 1 of 1, or the jersey number 25 of 25, or 37 of 99.
That's a little different, but when it's like, birth year 1 of 1, or like height 1 of 1, like the guy, it was card 62 and the guy's 6'2", like you're really stretching there, my friend.
I think one of my biggest pet peeves, and only because I saw it today, I was watching that old collecting card video on YouTube that I had found on VHS in my garage over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And Mel Allen's talking, and he brings an interesting point up that, allegedly the lore of the T206 Wagner was pulled from packs because Wagner had an issue with kids collecting, his image and likeness from tobacco, and who knows if that was true or not. But if you believe that, then a 1948 Leaf has him chewing tobacco in the picture. And so it's just kind of interesting. And so I typed in 1948 Leaf because that's the card now I want to own, because that'd be pretty cool. And you can have them all day long between, 100, 150 bucks if you're not, too concerned about condition. But there's one that was available for relatively inexpensive, and it was listed as a maybe reprint. And it's like, it might be a reprint. And there's also T206 Wagner that's like $69 right now you can buy. found in a shoebox. It was my dad's. It might be a reprint. Dude, if you're selling, a 1948 Leaf for $15 when it's a $100 card, it's a reprint.
Well, real quick, did you see that on Twitter? Someone posted they bought 2 vintage Joe Morgan cards. One was a 75, and I don't remember what the other one was, but they were actually turn back the clock cards or the Kmart, those Kmart from 82 that they cropped when they sold it just to show the card, but it was actually the 82 Kmart card and whatever, the turn back the clock card. And the guy said, no refund. Sorry.
Of course he did.
And I also in the chat here, Jenny Miller, this is how I'm selling all my cards now, pulled by an About the Cards podcast host 1 of 1. That's going to go in all my listings. And then Chris Torres says the non-auto and eBay title listings, those people need to be banned forever. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, sir. They need to be banned.
Honestly, can I change my mind?
No.
One of the people that I follow on Twitter, I don't know if you guys follow her as well, Southern Bell Sports Cards, at Shell Bell Cards. She had an unfortunate situation, I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, where she sold I'm going to see if I can find the tweet real quick while I'm talking. She sold a Juan Soto auto, I believe it was, on
50
on eBay. Pardon me?
Number to 50, I think.
Yeah, it's the
50.
Yeah, she said, wanted to get some feedback from my followers. I sold my 2018 Topps Update Soto Blue Father's Day out of 50 shows. I guess it was a non-auto for $350. I took a bunch of pictures. Card was in perfect shape. The buyer's now trying to return, saying a corner shows damage. Am I screwed here? We all know, and I responded to her basically saying, yeah, sorry. Buyer's going to get their money back. You can request the card back, but odds are all they're going to do is throw some comment in there to generate a tracking number. I recommended that she videotape it when she opens it so that she can, thus provide that to eBay at the very least. Hopefully she can retain her $350, even though the buyer we know will get their money back and apparently already has. And it's just, you're seeing that more and more to the point where I saw a massive card going on eBay earlier today on a Facebook group. It was a Kuna Superfractor, and it was going for like 10 grand so far. And I'm just like, why would you sell like that on eBay, knowing darn well there's no recourse if that buyer wants to keep that? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
eBay.
Brent was, I know our buddy Bryn Becca. So went on a little vacation, but he said he was receiving, he'd received an offer on a card, a pretty expensive card, and went to accept the offer, but zero feedback. And he's had so many of these people in the last handful of days with no feedback coming in and buying cards. And, then there's non-payments. And I know one of our buddies, Cardboard Icons, had the same thing where a seller backed out and said all these things. I guess a known breaker backed out and said, "Oh, family emergencies." He bought the card, an $80 card or something, and then backed out moments later, non-payment, and say, "Oh, I can't pay this. I can't buy this card. I can't afford this card." Yada yada yada. To me, that's insane, right? I mean, like it. I get eBay's point, but it seems this is a bigger topic for later. But I think that we're going to discuss about how much they protect the buyer and they don't really protect their sellers. So,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I understand why they represent the buyer as much, but there should be some seller protections. So what's stopped them from sending back a 1989 Fleer?
That happens all the time. I mean, if you're in the Facebook scammers group, which is the only reason I joined it was because it's funny. And there's a lot of knuckleheads like, I sent a card, or I bought a card, friends and family, and now they blocked me on Facebook. Am I screwed? Yes. So yeah, it's one of those things that I'm sure we probably do a whole infield chatter just on eBay, and probably should, especially warning signs. Our friend Ryan Cracknell had a thing today, which we don't necessarily have to get into in depth right here. But what advice would you give to a brand new, collector just returning to the hobby? And eBay warning is probably a good one, especially if they're going to be on the side of I'm going to go ahead and open and sell, to either reinvest or whatever. There's so much wrong with eBay right now from the selling side.
Well,
it does warrant its own segment.
Yeah, well, if I ask so Ryan's question, can I ask the new guy, the new person hopping into the hobby, a question? And my question would be, what's bringing you back? So what made you want to come back? You remember doing as a kid, but why is it bringing you back now? Is it
okay, Tim? What brought you back in 2012? What sparked you
going through all my old cards again, and how much fun I used to have? And so the first thing I did when I came back in was I bought a box of Series 1 2012 hobby baseball, Topps baseball, and pulled a Ubaldo Jimenez, I think, bat card. No, it was an autograph card. Oh, this is cool. So that's what brought me back in. And I always liked to build the sets and put them together as kids. So that's kind of why I knew what I was looking for. I didn't really want to dive, fully dive in. But I really did after that, and tons of Bowman from 2012. Tons of Bowman.
Yeah, that's a good question, because what that does is now it allows me to answer the question of what you should look for if 2018 Ben is giving 2012 Tim advice, which is basically where Ryan's question derived from is just that. You're coming back in. It's a good question. Why are you back here? What sparked that interest again? When I've told this story before about going into a local card shop after McFarland's in 2010, talking the wife into a box of her choice, her sport, and she chose 2010 flagship football, which was still licensed with Topps. And we completed a set, and it's like, yeah, this is something we can do together. And then my love for baseball came back, or baseball cards, because that passion never left. It just, I wasn't collecting anymore. And, it took 2 or 3 years to realize you can't collect it all, so collect what you like. And for me, that became the A's collection, and
you saw the 2010 set, by the way?
Somewhere.
Yeah, I want to trade for that, by the way.
Okay. I got no need for it.
Should keep it for memorabilia's sake.
I'll trade it for your 2011 Topps Update Baseball. By the way, if anybody's out there listening, I need a 1981 Donruss, a 1982 Donruss, 1983 Donruss set. So also, Tim, if you're at the Teammates and you see any of that early stuff, let me know.
I bought them all a couple weeks back.
Yeah, but he'll have them again.
Oh, he will, for sure.
And they're all cheap. I mean, they're $20, $30. It really is shipping to get you. If I wanted to go spend $30 right now, I could buy probably a $100 bill, get me 81, 82, and 83, because I know that because I looked earlier. I just don't want to spend $100 on it today. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that I posted it. And speaking of getting back into collecting, but me and the wife went to Target, and we haven't actually bought new stuff in a while. Individual team sets or whatnot here and there. But we went to Target, and they had the Topps Chrome update packs. And we had our buddy, those back pages, or Eric, for those that know him, and said, hey, should we get the blasters or the hangers? Because our Target had plenty of them. Well, it's a good decision. We decided to listen to him. And it's kind of what got Angela back into the itch of wanting to open stuff. But we went back a few times, picked up extra packs, but check that out.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of which, our friend Matthew posted I had made a comment on somebody who's trying to sell a 2018 Topps Archive. Is that the Independence Day?
Scott Kingery auto.
Nice.
For a few packs, but it got the itch back in Angela to want to collect as well, to help me with the collection.
Somebody had a 2018 Topps Archive McGwire base card for $8 free shipping, which is a steal for a 18-cent card. And
my favorite was the best is that showed other cards previously sold at the top, and they were all at 99 cents.
Our friend Matthew responds to that, showing me a card that Manis Sports Card had tweeted out earlier. and it was I forget which player it was. It might have been a Soto or something like that. It was I'm going to butcher what they said. It was 2018 Topps update brown gold thingy parallel is exactly what they said to some degree, and they wanted $8,999 and 1 penny, and the listing had been taken down when you clicked on it. But it's just the way they listed it as a brown shiny gold thingy parallel, and I'm like, it had to be a joke.
Yeah,
because they even tweeted out, this is serial numbered blank of 2018. And it had to be one of those things where, on Facebook all this week, I've seen nothing but Acuna autos selling for thousands of dollars because he's the rookie of the year now. And it's all sarcasm. They weren't being serious. It was like, oh, hey, I got this Ohtani, let me ask for a multiplier of 7,000, You can get this Ohtani lot of 10 cards for $5,000. Everybody's being facetious at the moment, so I'm assuming that was as well. It was hilarious if you saw it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so guys, I mean, it's been a quick show tonight. Normally we're so long-winded. We're an hour and a half, but we're a little over an hour right now. And I just don't think there's a lot of releases this week, and nothing super crazy happened in the hobby.
No, Steph wanted to bring something up before we.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Two things. One, a quick thing that I saw. Where did it go? There we go. Doop. Share. Just a quick thing. Do you guys think this is the original patch? I looked all over eBay and cannot find a comparable. Curious if someone replaced the patch. I don't know if they're still like this. However, if you hold most of Panini's products up to a light, you'll actually see lettering behind it that describes the patch and the player. If you're at a show or you want to see something like that, go try it. Go pull up like a 2010, 2012, or 2013, or even like a 2005 Panini card. And the patch should have like the name or a description of the relic behind it. Just a PSA. However, the other one that I wanted to hit up on is that in the hobby, there's all facets. I mean, I think we are mostly sports collectors, in particular, mostly baseball. Not speaking for you guys, but just in general here. But occasionally we get sets from other players, Topps and Ginter specific, as well as TV sets and non-sport stuff. But with the unfortunate passing the other day of Stan Lee, I kind of wanted to spotlight it. Huge industry talent, the Marvel series that are being put out, all headed and founded. Huge name, huge collectible player. Not player, but collectability market. And unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 95. Not going to get into all of the family issues and the dramas and the legality with his blood and whatnot, but it's just sad that he's passed, and we're missing a huge talent, and this is coming from a DC guy. Give me that.
Yeah, he helped create one hell of a universe. And I'm just glad he got to see the fruition of it and all the movies that became and what the franchises and stuff are and how it's really changed that whole genre in the last 20 to 25 years.
Sure.
Yeah, and he's definitely an icon in the collectible world, just the comic book world, of course. And there are a lot of people that we know, like Eric, who you mentioned at those back pages, who is a comic book collector as well. And so comics and cards are often seen together in the same place. A lot of local card shops do both as a way to kind of diversify their market and try to get multiple consumer segments in there. But unfortunately, when the passing of anybody is sad, but man, the life that he lived, at least on the surface, what his legacy will be, he left behind so much more that he took with him. So we can all pay tribute to him, and our kids generations will know his work, even if they don't know him by name.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, on that, remember that we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Pacific Standard Time. And make sure to subscribe and review on our show on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some feedback. You also can follow us on Twitter about the cards and shoot us messages there. Remember to follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steph at Junks Wax Twins. And you can always follow me at Big Ship 79. We'd love to hear your stories in the hobby and what happens. And hope you guys all have a great week. And if you hit any card shows this weekend, let me know. I want to see what you get and what's out there. I love to see your collections, and it really makes my day to kind of go through and see how other people are collecting, sorting, building. That's always fun. So, fellas, do you have anything left before we leave tonight?
Nope. Just a last-second show-off.
Dan Ford.
Disco Dan Ford at that. But no, I hope everyone has a great week. Like Tim was saying, hit us up with messages, pictures. Hey, you want to show us a cool hit that you got? That's kind of what we do here. That review through the week. Hey, if you see something is interesting that we didn't catch, maybe you don't think that we caught, shoot it our way.
Yeah.
Ben, take down the Christmas tree. It's too early.
Hey, listen here, buddy. It was up a week later than I had anticipated. But finally, I convinced Heather to. She actually put it up too. I got to give full disclosure. I sat back this year and watched.
So you're saying Heather put set up for you,
dude? I've been listening. She opened my jar earlier. She's my husband. Apparently. Not too proud to beg.
All right, guys. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. Everyone in the chat, we appreciate you. Thank you. And we appreciate the support and the following. Everyone, have a great night. See you soon.
Bye.